Rich people, how do you avoid gold diggers? I inherited $12 million when I turned 25, but I learned the hard way that money attracts the wrong people. So I developed a foolproof system that took me 3 years to perfect. I drive a beat-up Honda Civic with 200,000 miles on it. The paint is faded, the air conditioning barely works, and there's a crack across the windshield. I wear clothes from Target and Old Navy, live in a regular 2-bedroom apartment downtown with secondhand furniture. When people ask what I do for work, I tell them I'm a freelance graphic designer making about 40 grand a year. I even created fake business cards and a basic website to sell the story. The first girl I tested was Ashley. We met at a coffee shop where she complained about her student loans for 20 minutes. She seemed genuine, always insisted on splitting the check, drove an older Nissan herself. She'd make comments like, money doesn't buy happiness, and I'd rather be poor and in love than rich and alone. Classic lines that should have been red flags, but I wanted to believe her. After 3 months of dating, I decided to reveal the truth. I picked her up in my real car, a brand new BMW, and took her to my actual house. This massive place with a pool, 3-car garage, and a kitchen bigger than my fake apartment. Her whole personality changed instantly. Her eyes got wide, she started taking selfies in every room, and suddenly became very physically affectionate. Why didn't you tell me you were loaded? She asked, running her hands through my hair like never before. Within a week, she was hinting about expensive restaurants and weekend trips to Vegas. She started wearing designer clothes and claimed her uncle was buying them. Her Instagram posts suddenly featured high-end boutiques I knew she couldn't afford, so I tested her again. I called her crying, said I'd made some terrible investments and lost most of my money. Had to sell the house immediately, move back to my crappy apartment, might need to borrow money for rent. She ghosted me within 48 hours, blocked my number, unfriended me on social media, the whole thing. 2 weeks later, I saw her on a date with some guy driving a Mercedes. But here's where it gets interesting. I tried the same approach with Madison, a 3rd grade teacher I met at a used bookstore. She was buying classroom supplies with her own money because the school's budget was so tight. Sweet, down to earth, drove a 10-year-old Camry with a cracked windshield and bumper stickers from places she'd visited during summer breaks. She packed her lunch every day and got genuinely excited about finding good deals at thrift stores. When I finally showed her my real house after 4 months of dating, she got uncomfortable. Not impressed, uncomfortable. This feels like too much, she said, standing in my marble foyer. I don't know if I fit into this world. What happens when you get tired of slumming it with a teacher? She was worried about the money changing our relationship, making me see her differently. That's when I knew she was completely different from every other woman I'd met, so I decided to test her the opposite way. I told her I just inherited even more money from another relative. Expected to triple my wealth in the next year, might buy a second house, definitely getting a yacht. She looked absolutely terrified. Austin, I fell in love with the guy who shops at Target and fixes his own car in the parking lot. I don't want you to become some rich snob who forgets where he came from. That night, I told her everything. How I'd been testing women for 2 years. How most of them failed spectacularly the moment money entered the picture. How she was the first person who seemed genuinely scared of my wealth instead of attracted to it. She was quiet for a long time, sitting on my expensive couch looking completely out of place. Then she said, I understand why you had to lie, but promise me something. Don't let the money change who you are. The Austin I love drives that beat-up Honda and gets excited about $2 tacos. We've been married for 3 years now. She still drives that same Camry, refuses to let me buy her a new car even though I've offered dozens of times. She keeps working as a teacher even though she doesn't financially need to anymore. Last week, I overheard her telling her sister on the phone, I married Austin because he makes me laugh and remembers exactly how I like my coffee. The money is just something we happen to have, like brown eyes or big feet. When her sister asked if she'd leave me if I somehow lost everything tomorrow, Madison didn't hesitate. Are you kidding? I'd help him pack the boxes and find us a new apartment. We'd figure it out together. That's exactly why I love her. She's more worried about me staying humble than staying rich.